This is an educational video, so therefore there will be a lot of technical jargon. So bear with me if anything is unclear. You can leave a comment anytime down in the comments, and I'll try my best to clarify and get back to you. But yeah, onto the video. This is a story of how I'm excited to share this with you because this is the result of 2 months of research and work that I did with my team to build a solution that has a potential to meaningfully impact millions, like 500 million people in Africa. So I would say it's worth watching, especially if you're interested in gene editing and AI. So yeah, so without further ado, onto the video. Bread, rice, pasta. We eat them every day with our meals, right? And most of us love them and munch on them every day. Assuming you're in the Western world, this makes up about 65% of our daily calories. Well, could you take a guess at what is the third largest source of carbs in the world? It'll probably be one of these three I mentioned, right? Wrong. It's cassava. Cassava. Have you heard of it? Because if you have, I'd be impressed. Comment below. Anyway, assuming you live in the West, you probably won't find them in your major retailer. But if you go to a vegetable market or a foreign farmer's market, let's say, you may be lucky because I was able to get something like this. It's called cassava chips, which I can tell you is yum, yum. I approve. But what if I told you that one of the most damaging crop viruses in the world, so it's called Cassava Mosiac disease, which we look into CMD, it causes annual economic losses up to, get ready for it, 3 billion US dollars. That's right. In regions like Nigeria, the world's largest producer of cassava. CMD affects 26% of global production, leading to an annual loss of $2.3 billion. And such significant losses reduce the ability of cassava, which is like a crucial source of calories for over 500 million people in the tropics. That's crazy. And in some parts of sub-Saharan Africa, where cassava is a main staple food, the prevalence of stunting, which is a sign of chronic malnutrition among children under 5, can exceed 30%. Now you're asking, so what is the root cause of Cassava mosaic disease? It's actually whiteflies, this type of insect. And this CMD is spread by whiteflies, which feed on cassava plants, transmitting the virus through their saliva into the plants. This results in reduced cassava yields, causing food insecurity and malnutrition, which is devastating. Now, you may ask, what is being done about it? Well, in 2017, Nigeria approved GM modified cassava, but progress has been really slow due to various challenges. So I asked myself and my team, why not tackle the whiteflies directly instead? What if we could do that? And bingo, that's where our focus of our research went to. During the Knowledge Society's annual Focus Hackathon, my team and I researched and built a solution. And the result? By modifying genes involved in the production of salivary gland proteins, we can impact the whiteflies' ability to transmit viruses effectively. This was very helpful, and we developed a concept to modify the whiteflies' genes involved in salivary gland protein production that will make them resistant to transmitting the virus actually. By conducting an analysis of the whitefly before and after feeding on infected plants, and targeting RNA silencing pathways, we could potentially disrupt the virus transmission actually. So we did a hackathon out of competitors from across 300 cities and 80 teams, but we didn't stop there. Post-hackathon, me helping with the AI part of this project, I built a prototype to replicate this process using AI. And this is the process I'm talking about of data analysis. Initially, I simulated the dataset to understand the workflow, but my director at TKS, shout out to Steven, advised me to use real-world data for more accurate results and better validation from real-world experts. So using real datasets, such as from Kaggle, the Cassava leaf disease classification, it did present more challenges, but also made the prototype more realistic and reliable. Here's the Python code I developed. It uses a random forest classifier to identify and predict resistant strains of cassava. The model is easier to interpret and requires less computational power compared to deep learning models. And the results? Well, it showed promising accuracy and provided insights into feature importance, which will help us to understand which genetic traits are actually crucial for the resistance. We also spoke to some industry experts to validate our approach. They emphasized the importance of understanding the downstream effects of genetic modifications and the need for scalable solutions. The first question is, what strategies would you recommend for balancing the comprehensiveness of our model against the need for rapid data processing and interpretation?
Good question. So where you get the data from will kind of determine how much pre-processing you need to do. So just going back to the example that I was sharing with you of what we did with the tool that we were building, we in our case, there were different data sets from different sort of SaaS tools that these companies used, everything from Slack to Notion, and some of it is structured data, some of it is unstructured. Google Docs, for example, you pull from a spreadsheet that's very structured data, you can expect a specific type of format, whereas if you're pulling from Notion, it's unstructured text-based data. So it required us to create a type of graph to tie those data sets together. I don't think you'll have to do that on your side, but if you're working with multiple labs and they're all sending you different data sets, you will have to make sure the pre-processing will be to put all of that into a singular format before you can throw it at a model that can then understand that format, right? Because you'll have to do a mapping to help the model understand what the context of the data is before you can get the type of outcome that you want from it.
In the context of using AI for genetic modification purposes, what might be some ethical considerations that we should prioritize during our R&D process?
Oh, that's really interesting. Of course, you should have some consideration for what downstream effects these changes that you make to these. It's a parasite, right? I don't know much about this. Are they parasites? Yeah. So I mean, the ethical consideration would just be what it does to the rest of the ecosystem. If you genetically modify this one element, what they probably have some sort of natural predator. Will it have an impact on those things, and then it has a domino effect potentially, right?
Are there any emerging technologies or methodologies in AI that you believe could significantly impact our project success in the near future?
Nothing super new. I mean, it's all changing very quickly. So it's just about what the latest models are, and there are probably going to be specific forks of these of the larger models that are fine-tuned to this type of data. But during my search, when I was talking to potential co-founders, I came across a guy who had fine-tuned whatever OpenAI's latest model was at the time to the production of new molecules, because he was looking into something related to regulations in the EU and the use of certain chemicals in beauty products and how those SKUs need to be modified per country that you're selling into, because certain substances are banned in certain countries, and you can't, the same face cream, for example, cannot be sold with the same formulation in one country versus the other. So it's more about using those kind of fine-tuned models, I think, in your case, is what you'll probably see the most benefit from. People in the research space probably open source some of their work around this, so you can look into that and see what there is. I'm sure there are existing open source projects around this. Our roadmap includes further research, validation from experienced professionals, and eventually bring this solution to the market and make it tangible to positively impact millions of lives. And if we can implement this, our solution would significantly increase Cassava production, reducing food insecurity, providing a stable income, and saving lots of lives. If this convinces you to join our mission, or if you know somebody from companies like Bayer or Monsanto, any NGOs, researchers, grant programs, we'd love to connect, because together we can make a difference. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or want to connect, feel free to contact me. Details are in the description. Let's work together to combat this disease and secure a better future for several million. Also, if you want to learn more about this and the findings behind this video,
Be sure to check out my in-depth article, which is also in the description below, that gives an insight into our journey building this project and prototype. And leave any questions in the comments down below. Lastly, if you like this video and want to see precisely how we'll finally stop food insecurity and join our journey, do subscribe, leave a like, and share this video with friends and family. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all next time.